Whenever you are.
Hi guys, Mark Scuderi here, and today I have Sara Tozzi, who is our agent services director at Remax Supreme, but also a very successful real estate agent, second generation. Sarah is also a mom and of two young, beautiful children, and now also a stay-at-home mom who's teaching, right, with the quarantine that we're in. So I asked Sarah to come onto our group because she's doing such a phenomenal job in transitioning during this pandemic to not only using the technology we've had for a long time, but getting our agents up to speed on these technologies like our Zoom and our paperless filing system and everything we've done over the years. But while doing all that, you're home with the family, you're home with the children, you have homeschooling obligations. Just last week, you put out 2 beautiful new listings. You had some amazing technology with that. They're both under contract already, which is an amazing story. So tell us a little bit about what you're doing and what you do for our company and the services you provide and all that great stuff.
Sure. So thank you for having me. Obviously, I'm excited to be here. What I do for the office. So I train and onboard all of our new agents. I teach them all of the Remax technology that we have to offer, which is a huge platform for us. There's just so much for all of our agents to learn about. So obviously above and beyond the normal things, the Zoom rooms that we are given for free, the websites we're given for free, we have a brand new CRM. So I'm training all of our agents on how to use those things and how to best grow their business with them. What I'm doing for myself. So obviously, as you can possibly hear, I have a 2-year-old and a 5.5-year-old. Life is crazy, but it's great. So I am becoming a stay-at-home mom, as well as a real estate agent, work in the office, and I have now become this teacher. So I'm trying to learn all of the above at once. What's been working for me is that I've really been trying to use as much technology as possible. So virtual listings and listing appointments I've been doing. So I've been doing a lot of FaceTime walkthroughs with clients, listing appointments with clients. And then on top of that, I've also been trying to use the social media as well as the online, platforms as much as possible. So I've been using the Zillow 3D tours. I've been using my photographers for drone and video. And as much as I can showcase about the properties that I'm listing, I'm trying to use all of those different avenues to showcase them the best that I can. Thus far, knock on wood, it's been working, and I'm loving it. I'm loving the overall product. I'm trying to get more comfortable on camera so that I can kind of get out there and do a bit more video. I'm doing some walkthroughs of my own. So for some listings that I've had previously, I went there, I've done some video walkthroughs, showcase those homes, and I'm able to give those to clients now when, my sellers don't necessarily want to have everybody walking through their doors. These avenues make it a lot easier for that to happen. So that's really what's been working for me. And I'm kind of loving the new role. I'm definitely working a lot harder with all these additional roles, but I really like the availability to try all of these new different platforms. So.
No, I agree. And, a few weeks before this started, I recorded on a podcast, the Leadership Jam Session. I'll put the link out. But it just released Saturday through the editing process or whoever they do that. And the focus of the Leadership Jam Session really went into our response from the 2008 housing crash. And if you look at my YouTube channel, one of my first videos I did about 2 months ago was, has your broker ever experienced a buyer's market before? Because we've been in such a strong market for such a long time. So many broker owners and real estate agents have never been through a downturn or a buyer's market. So I didn't expect it to happen as quickly as it did, but it literally, there was just a switch that was flipped. And whether we're in a buyer or seller's market, we don't know that yet, but we all can agree that things have changed. And one of the things we talked about on the podcast was how we adapted with technologies at the time and everything we did to adapt. And it really worked well because we were positioned for this, that we were using these technologies, almost everything that we've had. And right before this pandemic, identified the one area that we don't have technology, and that is e-checks for our agents. And we're going to have that up and running in the next few weeks, where our agents will receive the check from the title company or the wire, incoming wire for their commissions, and we're going to be able to process it instantly. And with a mouse click, have that e-check delivered to the agents. That was the one thing we were kind of missing, and now we're putting that. But because we've had these technologies for so long, but a lot of agents are hesitant with change, and they're unable, they're just maybe not too interested in learning the technology. Now they're just forced. And that has put some pressure on you, I imagine, because now the agents who've been pushing off the training that, for the last several years, now they need to get trained on the technologies that we offer. So have you seen the agents, that you're training every day, adapt to the training well, or the technologies? Are they appreciative? Do they wish they would have done this sooner? What are you seeing with them?
All of the above, honestly. Yes, a ton of our agents, whether it be brand new agents or agents that have been in the business a long time, everybody is wanting to utilize all the tools that we have now. And I've had multiple comments that agents have said, yes, I definitely should have done this sooner. I wish I had done this earlier. I didn't realize how easy this was. We have Dot Loop. Dot Loop takes 2 seconds to fill out a contract if you enter all of your information properly. You send it off to your clients, and then it's back to you in 2 minutes. We had agents that weren't using it. They were still using paper copies. Now that they understand how to use Dot Loop, they're just blown away that they didn't use it years ago. That, and then Booge for us. Booge is our CRM platform. Many of our agents didn't even know about it, and they didn't know that these websites that we now have created for us, we can curtail down to meet our needs the best that we want to make it. And they are just kind of blown away by how easy it is to use, how user friendly it is. They're loving it. And I'm finding more and more agents each day want to get in and to video, Zoom with me. I can screen share with them, and we honestly can walk through a training that would normally take, 3 days in an hour, 2 hours, and then we can break it up over sessions. So we can go one step at a time. When they feel like they've had enough, we move on to the next day and then pick up right where we left off. So this has been great. I mean, I've had so many agents that I haven't seen in, a while asking for training, and I can't even tell you the positive feedback I've had recently. It's just been very overwhelming. Everybody's seeming to really kind of get into this and like it and really start to want to use it now. So.
And that's a really good point, because the technology, I'm very fortunate. I started out with RE/MAX, and we've always had just a tremendous amount of technology. Going back to 2003, we had agent websites and things that just didn't exist in the market. So I've been very spoiled in my career to have access to a lot of these technologies and tools and whatnot. Why do you think that agents would not take advantage of these technologies? And now that we're forced to do it, to use these technologies, how rapidly do you think that the business is going to change? Meaning the agents are going to change and keep these changes permanent, meaning they're not going to go back to the old ways. They're going to continue to use these technologies. So what do you think, how that is going to work in the next, 30, 60, 90 days or a year down the road for their business?
In all honesty, I've heard so many times in the past of, I'm too busy. I don't have time for this. I don't really want to look into it. I'm just too busy. I need to keep going with what I'm doing. But now everybody has a bit more time. We have a bit more flexibility in our schedules, and we're not out as much as we were. So now everybody is seeing, okay, I can use this, and I can actually take time from what I was doing to put into this. And they're now realizing, it takes so much less time using these different tools that they have now to get their work done. I'm expecting to see a ton of our agents really start to ramp up even more using technology. I think it will stick around now that people are taking the time to use it, use the different platforms, and try things maybe that they hadn't tried in the past. I think they're starting to realize that all of these things really will help grow their business. I know it's really helping to grow my business. I've always used technology, but this is just giving me more time to kind of look into things and try different things. And, the fact that I train others, helps me to really keep myself accountable and use as much as I can possibly use each and every day. I'm personally loving, the video walkthroughs and video, virtual tours. I love that. I think that will stick around. I'm hoping that will stick around. I feel like it really is a service to our clients and showcases their homes to the best of our ability. So I think if all of our agents continue to keep up with what I'm seeing and continue to do what they're doing, I think this will stick around for a long time. In
That's a
the
good point.
best way.
That's a really great point. And we did a mastermind weekly. So I'm a big believer in the mastermind for a lot of reasons, just collaboration and accountability. And we did that in person. And we're obviously forced to go to a virtual mastermind, which we continue to do. And then we decided that we would add a second per week. So we're doing Tuesdays and Fridays for our agent because we feel it's just important to stay connected during this time. How do you see the benefit of doing more masterminds now, but we can do that because we're eliminating the travel times for the agent. We're still able to collaborate, although we're not in person. How do you feel that the doubling up on the mastermind to twice a week what effect has it had on the agents?
I think everybody's being held accountable. Everybody has a set meeting on their schedule. They don't have a reason to miss it. They don't, can't say, oh, I got stuck in traffic. No, you literally, all you have to do is walk into your room, you put yourself in front of a camera, and you talk to each other. I think it's holding us all very accountable. I think it's allowing us the availability to share our stories and to share our experiences and to share our different markets. I mean, as you know, we have agents up in Bergen County. They're explaining to us what's happening up there and how our market may be a bit different than theirs right now, but how it all kind of benefits all of us at the same time. I personally love it. I know it holds me accountable. So if I say I'm doing something, I don't want to come back on my call at the end of the week and say, oh no, I didn't do it yet. It just keeps me there, keeps me present. And I think it's doing that with all of our agents. It seems as though all of us are really still trying to do as much as we possibly can. And we're all looking at new avenues of, how can we grow our business in a time that is totally different for every, single person out there.
And I agree. And, the difference, and for those viewers that don't know where we are in New Jersey, but our main office is right on the Delaware River. So we're literally a quarter mile from Pennsylvania. And the new office we're opening is essentially on the Hudson River from New York. And what's going on with this awful pandemic, it's much different than what's going on in Bergen County, where the new office is, versus where we are in a little bit more of rural New Jersey, so to say. And with the technologies and the different markets, I think we have a pretty significant advantage, because even though the agents in the newer market are really locked down because the pandemic is very, very serious there. And I mean, it's serious everywhere, but there's thousands and thousands of cases where we are in Western Jersey. There's hundreds and hundreds of cases. So there's a big, tremendous difference. And I think technology-wise, it's going to open, and that's kind of been our strategy, to have offices strategically located in several different markets. And this has proven to be a really beneficial thought, or at least theory in my mind, because we're listing properties and selling them in the same week in Western New Jersey, but in Eastern New Jersey, where people really have to stay in, it is a complete lockdown. We have the ability to take advantage of the different markets. And when this awful disease passes, and obviously the New York market opens up again, and I believe people will come out of the city after this and go into the New Jersey suburbs, it kind of just shows that, and getting back to that mastermind, that when we collaborate together versus doing separate meetings for each office, the power is so much more great, and the energy is greater. And so I think this is something that we need to stay with, is kind of where I'm getting at, that we just mastermind as one whole group versus having different office masterminds. And do you think that's a really good idea?
I do. And I think it really brings the office together as a unified group. I think we all look out for one another. And I think it's so helpful to just continue to share what we are each doing and building each other up and being there as a support system for one another, especially in times like this. I think the group's great. I look forward to it each week.
So that's amazing. And I want to get wrapped up because I don't want this to be too long, but I want to get some messages out to team leaders and broker owners throughout the system, and this will be put out on social media and people will see it. What advice would you give a broker or a team leader that is just, trying to keep business going, trying to keep their agents safe, trying to keep their clients safe during this pandemic? What would you suggest that they do? Would they change their business? And you already mentioned that we believe the technology is going to kind of stay and we're going to continue to do things a little more virtually. What advice would you give to the broker that maybe doesn't know what to do today?
In all honesty, I mean, doing something where you meet with your agents, where you get together with them, even if it's a Zoom call or a mastermind session, or any sort of personal follow-up is great. I think offering the trainings and the tools that are there for your clients and your agents in your office, use them, support them and show them what they can be doing and how it can benefit them and their clients and their and their families in general. So I would say just keep getting to your agents, keep getting to your sphere of people that you want to just kind of stay in touch with and stay top of mind with them, and know that they're there to be, you're there to support them.
And I agree. And as a broker owner, especially if you're in a smaller brokerage, when less than 50 agents and maybe less than 20 or even less than 10, the broker wears a lot of hats. And I just personally cannot see how I could run a brokerage and do everything that's required as being the broker of the office, but also be up to speed on all the technologies and tools. And we were joking the other day when we said, so many agents outside of our organization, if you want to see the technology you're going to have 5 years from now, come look at what we've been using for the last year or two, because it's just been that way for my 17 years in the business. But I don't think it's possible that I could wear all the hats, sell real estate, run a team, do all of these things, and be up to speed with all of these technologies. So you bring a tremendous, tremendous advantage to the brokerage, that you understand our technologies and you're able to train them so well. And I'm glad to really see that you're taking those technologies and holding yourself accountable. You're teaching it, but you're also doing it. And
Yeah.
that's a big part. There's a saying there, those who can do, those who can't teach. And that's not you, right? You're doing it, you're teaching it, but you're doing it, which is most important. So I'm excited to get this out to people in our network and agents. And I want them to know what a rock star that we have in the RE/MAX system with Sara Tozzi. And you're doing just an amazing job. We could not be more appreciative than everything you're doing, especially during these times. So I wanted to get you on video and get that out. I know none of us really love doing video, but it's important what we have to do today. So I want to thank you for taking your time this morning. Go kiss those beautiful children, take a walk, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you having me.